Hey, God's people, it's another Worth and Wonder Wednesday, and we're going to take a minute to talk about how to sow within relationships. Sowing and reaping in relationships by being seen and heard and understood and valued. Yeah, we were talking this past week about how Christ sows into us through his sacrifice. He sows righteousness into us, and then we are to participate by allowing it to germinate, right? It's the same thing with relationships. When we are redeemed, we then become sowers into the relationships of others. So the key then is when you recognize that someone is not sowing into you as you are. What do I mean by that? Meaning that I value you enough. I declare you worthy enough to invest time and effort and prayers, right? I'm investing my heart into a relationship. So the same should be happening for you. And of course, depending on seasons of relationships, yes, somebody may be in a place where you have to serve them in a different way, or they have to serve you because of something that's going on. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the root of the relationship is about sowing and reaping, that each of you have decided that you're worthy enough, right? But so that you can understand that, yes, this person truly sees me, that they've spent time enough with God to be able to see me from God's perspective, instead of trying to make me somebody I'm not. Yes, But when you're in a relationship where someone is always taking instead of sowing, and you're constantly, working with God to really see them, who they really are from the inside out, to hear them, not just to listening to what they say, but hear them and understand what they're saying, and then value them enough to do what is necessary for the health of the relationship. But if you're doing that and another person is not, right, and they're consistently treating you or handling you in a way, now listen, we participate, so they're handling us, but we have given enough power away to allow it to happen, then we have to take some inventory. We have to understand that the Bible tells us that we are treasure in earthen vessels. And so you've got to believe that for yourself, right? So that you can keep your power. And then as you're in relationships, you've got to take some time and say, okay, do they believe that about me? Am I behaving in a way where I'm demonstrating that I believe that about them? Right? That they're a treasure in earthen vessel, that I'm a treasure in earthen vessel. And if that is not happening, then you need to be asking God, is it time for me to run? And I love that word run, because it's like I can radically uproot any negativity in my life. I can radically uproot negativity. Running, turning away from those things that are not taking me further on the path of my destiny, of who God has called me to be. I understand God is worthy. I understand that God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and that I ought to be able to not only worship my God, but then through that worship, be able to see myself through his wonder, so that I can then walk worthy, right, of who God has called me to be. But in these relationships, if I am not seen for who I truly am, if I'm not heard, if I'm not, and they're not taking the time to understand what I'm saying, who I am, who God is calling me to be, and therefore I am not valued, right? Or you don't feel it necessary to value the other person, it's time to make another decision. God loves you. I want you to take some time this week and really not only say, I know God loves me, but to sit in it, to soak in it, to take some time to remember what it feels like to receive the love of God. Remember that, so that when you're in that person's presence and you can't feel that you are receiving the love of God through that person, it's time to make another decision. I hope this helps so that you can continue to see, observe, experience the wonder of God and stand in your worth as His creation. I'll see you next time.